There's a weight sitting heavy on your chest right now, isn't there? That gnawing feeling, like you're stuck in the middle of something huge but you can't quite touch it yet. You see opportunities, sense that the world is shifting, but it all feels tangled in rules, noise, and distractions. You're watching traditional investors keep pouring billions into the same old startups, products without soul, ideas without impact, and it feels like shouting into the abyss. The promise of progress? It's muffled beneath short-term gains and tired business models. And you wonder, how do you break through? How do you move from just chasing profits to creating real, lasting change? How do you, as a founder, leader, investor, or visionary, stop being a small cog in a giant machine and start flipping the whole thing on its head? The truth is, right now, elite investors, those with real power and influence, are waking up. They're pivoting sharply and deliberately toward triple bottom line startups, not because it's trendy or because anyone's telling them to, but because they realize the old story is broken. The system they trusted to build wealth and impact is cracked. It no longer serves ambition or meaning. It no longer reflects the urgent needs of our world, the aching cries for justice, sustainability, and human dignity. These investors see the future, raw and unfiltered. They see startups that hold people, planet, and profit together, not as separate paths, but as a single, unstoppable force. And in that realization lies a spark, a disruptive, fierce opportunity for those who refuse to wait another second. Feel that fire? That's the hunger of the rare few. Founders and investors who refuse comfort, who reject the status quo, who aren't afraid to burn brighter and risk everything to build something that transcends the ordinary. These are the people rewriting the rules. Not for applause or fleeting acclaim, but because they know the power that comes from being radically aligned with purpose. The power that doesn't just seek returns, but revolution. The power that's been sleeping inside them all along, waiting for society's illusions of freedom and success to shatter. This new wave of investment, it's not just about money, it's about belief, about recognizing that the world's biggest problems, climate collapse, social inequality, broken systems, can't be solved by patching old models or chasing quick wins. They demand new architectures built on connection and trust, on fearless innovation and relentless courage. Elite investors are not blindly chasing hype. They are meticulously choosing startups that stand at the intersection of impact and scalability, that don't just want to sell a product, but want to reshape reality. These startups fight for the edge. They throw out rulebooks, they break the chains of old thinking, and they build ecosystems where everyone, from marginalized communities to bold dreamers, can thrive. Founders, here's the cold, hard truth you have to face. The world isn't waiting for you to fit in. It's scrambling for leaders who refuse to fit in, who dodge mediocrity like it's poison, who see money as a tool to fracture injustice, not perpetuate it. The elite investors who are pivoting already know it. Investing in triple bottom line startups is the only path forward. Because the old world is dying, and the new one demands architects, rebels, visionaries. The key? Radical authenticity. Startups that transparently measure their impact on people and planet alongside profits, that struggle and grow through failure and honesty, that build communities rather than just markets. These businesses don't just seek customers, they seek allies, champions, partners in a common mission. Investors hungry for meaning have learned a brutal lesson. Playing safe is the greatest risk of all. Chasing quick returns blinds them to the slow, persistent transformation happening at the margins. The slow but relentless rise of startups creating inclusive jobs, cleaning the environment, democratizing opportunity. They see a market that's bigger and more resilient, built on fairness, transparency, and long-term value. More than that, they see a chance to be part of something timeless, something that transcends politics, regions, or fleeting trends. This is about building legacies, yes, but not the kind celebrated in glossy magazines. The kind that echoes in generations, that rewires entire systems, that unleashes human freedom. If you're a founder wondering whether your bold ideas can break through, lean in. You don't need to play the status quo's game by its tired rules. Investors are hunting for the authentic, the daring, the deeply aligned, those who won't settle for shortcuts or half measures. The demand for exceptional is exploding, but here's the catch. It's not enough to be exceptional alone. You have to connect fiercely, build bridges between sectors, regions, visions. You must cultivate a tribe that amplifies your purpose, that matches your hunger for change with equal fire. This is where the new infrastructure lies, the autonomous networks that bypass broken systems and empower radical collaboration. This is the infrastructure the world forgot to build, but the elite investors are building with their capital and their attention. And investors, for those who feel trapped between profit expectations and impact promises, know this. Pivoting to triple bottom line startups is the most tactical, strategic, and urgent move you can make. Not just because of good PR or moral alignment, but because these startups outperform over time. Because capital flows to where risk is minimized by integrity and adaptability. Because the future will reward those who see companies as living ecosystems that must nurture community, planet, and profit equally. This pivot isn't a concession. It's a sharp competitive edge, wielded by those ready to transform not just portfolios, but humanity's trajectory. Every second wasted doubting or delaying is a second where the status quo cements itself deeper, where silos grow harder to break, where potential is lost. The time for passive belief has passed. The world's rarest individuals, the founders, investors, professionals who burn for more, must act. They must refuse to be processed, commodified, or optimized into submission. Instead, they must become sovereign, question everything, transform their reality relentlessly, choose partnerships with those who burn like they do. Trust that patience and the long game will win, not short-lived trends or safe bets. Imagine a world where capital and intention are welded so tightly they can't be pulled apart. Imagine startups that don't just survive, but regenerate communities. Imagine investors who don't just fund growth, but fuel revolutions. That world is here. It's not coming. It's being built right now by those who looked beyond comfort and saw the wild, dangerous beauty of radical change. No one ever said this path would be easy. You will face resistance from systems, from people, from old parts of yourself. But every great leader who has changed the course of history burned through that resistance with fierce clarity and unshakable belief. This is your call, to stop waiting, to stop accepting borrowed rules and half measures, to join those who are forging futures not just for themselves, but for everyone who has ever been overlooked, underestimated, or silenced. The world has no place for the average anymore. It never did. But now, it's louder, clearer, more demanding than ever. The few who dare to pivot, to invest in triple bottom line startups, are not just changing markets. They're smashing the cages of old realities and stepping free. They are the rare sparks lighting up the dark edges where the future is born. Don't let the fire inside you die a slow death buried beneath comfort or conformity. This is the moment to rise, to disrupt, to connect, to build. Elite investors are pivoting, and those who move with them not only profit, they transform everything. The choice is yours, but remember, the clock is ticking, and the future favors those who refuse to wait.